Yo, 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 yo. Everybody, welcome in. Everybody, welcome in. Once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the 5minusTwo podcast. I'm your host, E.B. Sweatlot. It's Friday, y'all. It is Friday, March, the 22nd, 2025. Just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully that your Friday is going well. We got a few topics to talk about, and it's a couple of topics. I don't like talking about subjects like this. We got Yellow Beezy being charged with capital murder. We got Big U turning himself in. And then we're also going to switch over to boxing. We got the Tank and Lamont Roach rematch. And we also got Jerome Boots Ennis versus Imantas Stanionis for a unification at 147. But once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the 5minusTwo podcast. I am your host, E.B. Sweatlot. So let's get into it, guys. First topic of the day. We have Yellow Beezy. And I think the news came in yesterday. I'm reading USA Today. It said that Yellow Beezy was arrested for capital murder of Mo 3, killed in 2020 on a Dallas highway. Now they saying that, Yellow Beezy allegedly, this is a murder for hire. The shooter was Keywan White. They said that Yellow Beezy allegedly hired Keywan White to kill Mo 3 for payment. So I guess there was a little bit of transaction allegedly between the two. So this was a murder for hire. And, it kind of sucks, man. I don't really like doing news like this, but I got to be honest and I got to report the content. I got to be honest with you guys. This is crazy. Allegedly, once again, I'm reading USA Today, and they said Yellow Beezy is arrested for capital murder. Murder. Now, I don't know how it is in Texas. I'm here in OKC. From my knowledge, from reading the Texas, when it comes to that, that's the death penalty, if I'm not mistaken. So, man, damn. And it's crazy. It's always been speculation and rumors because Yellow Beezy and Mo 3 had a back and forth. They've been beef, and it kind of sucks because they used to be friends before they end up feuding with each other. So, it really sucks. It really does. So, man, it's two families that are hurting right now. You got Mo 3 and then you got Yellow Beezy, because all of these kings got kids, and I'm not, I'm just speaking honest. I'm not trying to ride for one, ride for other, because I'm a, like they say, I'm a civilian. I'm looking on the outside looking in. So, it kind of sucks, but damn, Yellow Beezy, man. They said he was picked up yesterday, and what I'm looking at, man, he's looking at the death penalty if found guilty. So, man, that sucks. And then also, we're going to switch over to the Big U. Excuse me real quick. Excuse me for that. We're going to switch over to Big U. It said, reading the Los Angeles Times, the Rolling 60s Crip gang was hit with a R.I.C.O. They said the feds actually came down, and this was from the LA Times. They said this is Operation Drawdown. So the Rolling 60s Crip Los Angeles gang was hit with a racketeering crimes, extortion, human trafficking, fraud, as well as murder. Now, most of these are Big U's crimes, but Rolling 60s, man. So you got Brick Baby, you got Loose Cannon, and you got a few other participants too. And you also got Monty with Trap Kitchen too. That's actually part of this R.I.C.O. that got hit. And man, it's. I don't know why, man. The streets, I really believe when they say the streets are a myth, because, it's just, these guys did the work for the feds, going on Adam 22 and then, broadcasting what they did in the streets. And, like that saying, what's done in the dark comes to the light. And nobody's above the program. I don't, and I got to speak on that from Big U situation to Yellow Beezy situation. Man, nobody's bigger than the program, bro. Like, for real. And, they said allegedly that Big U turned himself in yesterday. So, he's hit with, the same charges I just said earlier: racketeering, extortion, human trafficking, as well as fraud. And they said Big U is allegedly tied into a 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper. They said his body was found in Las Vegas. So as more information comes, I'm reading the LA Times, and I'm just giving a brief synopsis of everything. And it's crazy. And it's allegedly that Big U had something to do with that Nipsey Hustle thing too. Allegedly. And what's done in the dark will come to the light, man. And it sucks. I don't really see the purpose of and once again, this is just me being a civilian. So I'm looking from the outside looking in. And when it comes to this lifestyle, man, there's no winning outcome, bro. You either gonna end up dead or in jail or both. And it's sad because nowadays everybody wants to be the tough guy, but don't nobody want to be the smartest guy. So I'm from that era where it's not about being the toughest, it's about being the smartest. So yeah, the Rolling 60 Crips, got hit with a RICO charge. And man, when they hit you with a RICO, that means they had information piled up. That means the Fed's been doing their homework. They got plenty of evidence, plenty of wiretaps, plenty of surveillance. To be honest with you, I don't even think they need any wiretaps or surveillance, because majority of the members allegedly that are tied into the Rolling 60 Crip gang were on Adam 22's podcast, and they said a lot of incriminating facts about themselves. So they incriminated themselves. So you basically did the work on the feds for the feds. You actually did the work for the feds. So in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I don't have this. Hey, I'm just being honest. You did the work for them. You snitched on yourself. So now when you look at it, and then you be like, damn, Big U got hit with a RICO, the Rolling 60s Crip got hit with a RICO. Man, most of these gentlemen told on themselves, bro. That I think that saying "gangsters move in silence," man, that must be like a taboo thing, because nowadays everybody's getting on podcasts just crashing out for like clout and clout coins, which is kind of sad. It's almost like most people are dying. It's almost like a dopamine hit. It's almost like, if I don't crash out, if I don't get this attention, if I don't get this clout, I gotta crash out. It's like a dopamine effect. And nowadays, it's so crazy that we are becoming desensitized to it. Like, it's almost like business as usual. Somebody got killed. All right, whatever, move on. And that's kind of scary, because that's kind of taking the human element out of us. We're basically becoming more and more savages, if you think about it. But man, you got Big U hit with a RICO, allegedly. And Big U was an executive producer and entrepreneur, and he had ties to help, Nipsey Hustle. So his background goes further than this. So, he's been around the block. He's been in the community, and that lifestyle for a long time. So you got Big U, Rolling 60s Crip, hit with a RICO. You got Brick Baby got picked up. You got Loose Cannon. You also got Monty with Trap Kitchen, which I watched a few episodes on YouTube and saw what she was about and stuff like that, and it looked like the food was good. But damn, she got picked up too. Yellow Beezy arrested for capital murder. So man, it's a lot of craziness going on, and honestly, I don't like to report this news. But I have to be honest. This is just me just paying my dues and letting the people know what's going on. We're gonna switch it over to sports. We're gonna switch it over to boxing. We got Tank and Lamont Roach, the rematch. Now, I was listening to boxing. I was listening to Knockout Boxing 86 TV and Upper Echelon Sports Bar, and these are my sources. I was listening to them, and I follow their YouTube. Make sure to follow them. I was listening to their channels and listening to a couple of videos, and it's speculation that Tank and Lamont, the rematch, will be June 21st, 2025, so around Juneteenth. And man, if it goes how my sources say it is, man, I pray that it's a good fight. I pray to hope. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I think Tank gonna step on him, but that's my opinion. It was a good fight. It was very controversial, which, the rematches tend to do better anyway, so, that just makes the rematch that much more exciting. So allegedly that the rematch should be at the T-Mobile Arena June 21st, 2025. So this is the rematch for Tank versus Lamont. And since we're talking about boxing, I'm gonna switch it over to Jerron Boots Ennis and Montes Stanionis. April 12th, 2025, Atlantic City. This is a unification bout. 147, Jerron Boots Ennis, who's coming off of a win. Amon Stanionis. This is a good, man. I'm kind of nervous for Boots, man. Boots is my favorite fighter, but this should be his toughest fight. So hopefully, man, I just pray my man lives up to the hype, man. So we'll see. This is his biggest test. I'm kind of excited for this fight. So anybody who's in the Atlantic City area, make sure to check out Jerron Boots Ennis versus Imantas Stanionis, April 12th, 2025. And then we also allegedly, so don't quote me, it's been speculation that the Tank versus Roach, the rematch should be June 21st, 2025. Just speculation, Juneteenth, so I'll be excited. So we got upcoming fights. I think we got Sebastian Fondor fight coming up, I think this weekend. Then we also got the Tim Tszyu, Joey Spencer. I think that's April 5th. These are all PBC fight cards. I like PBC. Then we also got the Fate of Fury. We got Ryan versus Rowley. I think that's going to be in May. I'm kind of excited about that too as well. So we got a few upcoming fights that I'm excited for coming up in the sport of boxing. So once again, man, I'm not going to hold you guys too long. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to the 5minusTwo podcast. And once again, I am your host, E.B. Sweatlock. Once again, I'll holler at you guys. Peace. A little bit of this, man, a little bit of that. You mix it all up, you got my life.